So, me and my boy, Dr. Spence here, just got done training what?
Back and buys.
Back and biceps. And
I did some legs beforehand.
a little bit of legs. Well, a chaser by a whole lot of back and biceps. And we were talking while we were training, this should be a good new series idea, Confessions of a Former Bro, mistakes along the way towards getting swole. So, Spence, let's give your statistics right now. How tall are you? What's your weight? What's your body fat level? How long have you been training? And let's delve into some tips then that you would give that you learned from training this long.
6'2", 220, 222 pounds, give or take, depending. And about 8% body fat.
Okay.
I've been lifting since I was like in middle school, but seriously since high school. So I'm 30, about 15 years.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest mistakes you made when trying to build muscle? Because you are tapping out now, you're reaching a very high level of your potential, right? We'll show some of the photos. You competed on stage at a national bodybuilding show, Muscle Mayhem, won the novice class, right?
Won the novice class.
Right, that's awesome. So tell us now, what are some of the mistakes you first made on this road to swole?
I was only 140 pounds my freshman year in high school. I was pretty tall and lanky. I wanted to get huge. I wanted to be a state champion wrestler because I was only JV. I was getting thrown around on the mat. And I also wanted to be all-state football, both of which I achieved. The way I started off, which I don't know if this is a mistake or not, I drank a gallon of milk a day.
Go mad.
And I literally ate until I wanted to puke every single meal.
Right.
I didn't know what counting calories was. I just knew I needed to eat a shitload.
Right.
And, you know, if I could go back, I would focus more on quality, you know, and look at my macronutrient counts a little bit more closely.
Studiously, sure.
That's the only real thing at that point about eating, because I did gain a lot of fat. But I also gained a lot of muscle too.
Right.
And it was during the time when I went through puberty, so it was like the perfect time
to do all that. Now let's talk about training then. What mistakes did you make when you were training? You say early on, mid-career, now.
So I was like a lot of what you know, your average YouTube fitness enthusiast. I was a program hopper. I just kind of did whatever. But what I found was my most gains came from being the most consistent, staying on one program and just adding weight every week as much as possible, and seeing that progressive overload, because you're jumping all over the place. You don't know where you're even at.
Sure. Different exercises, different modalities.
I would say just not being as consistent with something. Once I started putting in that hard work and being consistent, that's when the most gains came.
Now, tell me this. How have your gains, you know, over the years, how have they changed? I've heard, or I've experienced myself, you get the newbie gains, you gain a whole lot of weight.
Yeah.
And now, at the stage you're at with your training, do you find it hard, one, to stay motivated? Two, what's the rate of gains you have now? I would assume it definitely slows down over time because you build this huge base. So how do you stay motivated knowing that essentially you built already the most amount of muscle you will? Now it's, you know, you're still chipping away, but it's a slower process.
It is. The motivation's actually been quite tough. So I like the honesty. My senior year of college wrestling, I got up to like 265 pounds. That's the heaviest and strongest I'd ever been. And then when I went into medical school, it was just kind of maintenance. I wasn't training for anything, just to keep size and be lean. Then I wanted to do one of these bodybuilding contests, so now it's kind of reinvigorated my motivation. So it's striving towards something as opposed to striving towards just maintenance, which is
important to have
complacency. It is. It gives me a goal and something to strive for. And you know, there were about 6-7 years where I was going through the motions, which, you know, I looked good, but it wasn't going towards anything, and I wasn't making that great of gains.
Well, Spence, what would you say, what would be your biggest tips to those guys that are just starting out, that might be or are currently 140 pounds like yourself when they first started lifting? I was 130 pounds myself. What would you say to them that are watching? They're like, man, I'm never going to get to that stage, or I don't know if it's possible. What would you say?
You honestly, if you put your mind to it, you will. Genetics plays a part. People are like, dude, you're a genetic freak. I'm like, you should have seen me before.
Yeah, we'll throw up a photo.
You literally should have seen me. I was skinny. If you keep it takes years and years and years. Guys,
15 years.
15 years. That's not. I haven't taken a week off since I was in middle school.
Right.
I take a few days off. I go lighter for a week. I deload for a week, but never weeks at a time off.
You gotta be dedicated for life.
It's literally for life.
Yeah.
So, my biggest thing is just stick to it. It will eventually come. It's just like, grinding for a career, like medical school. I've gone through 11 years of school, and it's like now I'm finally have a real job, and it's like, yeah, you got to have some patience.
And patience goes a long way.
It does.
From 140 pounds to 220 pounds and 8% body fat.
That's right.
Dr. Spence, spelling that wisdom. I'm going to link in the description now. After last time he came down and I said, man, you got to start a YouTube channel. He actually started one. Okay, the link is going to be in the description. You should subscribe to it. Okay, that's the video. Dr. Spence, you want to say anything else in closing?
Check out my site, drspencer.com. I go over some of the stuff that I do in writing, but I also like to video a lot of it too. So obviously check out my YouTube channel.
Perfect. Thank you for watching. Make sure to show your support and like the damn video. We'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. That's right. Peace.